But that's where I started from. If the locals don't have money to buy, it's not MTN that will come for them to go and buy shares. I'm sure there are a million people who wanted to buy those shares, but they can't even claim their money from where they put it. And so what do? You leave it. And you don't become part of the shareholding. So these are the various factors that actually cramp the ability of the locals to have a majority stake in the IPO. As for foreigners, definitely, they will.
An obvious motivation for investors is dividend payments, which Mr. Idrisu believes extending it any further may trigger a reaction from investors.
That is envisaging payment of dividend even the end of the year. I don't know whether it was dividend for 2017, because if you are declaring dividend for 2017, by the end of March, April, you should have known your financial performance of a big company like MTN. So you could pay dividends. But if you are paying shareholder dividends in September or in August, means that you don't emphasize to pay dividend at the end of 2018. And so it means that shareholders will have to wait till the end of year 2019, which the performance of the company is dependent on the subscribers and its operations.
Pius Amihe Eduku for City Business News.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has clarified that it will soon meet the business associations to have further consultations and sensitization to brief them on the cargo tracking notes system implementation. GRA says this is necessary to clear all doubts with the business associations. There's more in the following reports by Jessica Ayoko Aye.
Following the agitations from the businesses, the GRA released a statement rescheduling the date for the CTN implementation to October 15. Commissioner of Customs at the GRA, Isaac Krentel, explained to City Business News the move is to allow more consultation and sensitization of all stakeholders. It is also to provide detailed information on what the CTN is all about. Mr. Krentel believes all concerns raised by the business body will be addressed before the new date of implementation.
There was issues of engagement and sensitization, because the idea was that they didn't even understand how to process the whole CTN. So it was agreed there that we scheduled for 15th October. So that from now to 15th October, all those concerned that the trading community, or the greater for that matter, we have to address it. So that is why we have reached. But in principle, the CTN is very, very crucial in the management of revenue in this country.
Earlier, the business associations had threatened to embark on a demonstration to express their displeasure with the implementation of the CTN. After calling off the demonstration, they called for the GRA to suspend the CTN charges at the ports. President of GUTA, Joseph Obeng, led the business delegation.
What we will urge the implementers of this policy, the Ghana Revenue Authority, to give out information to the shipping lines to suspend the CTN and load policy. Now the CTN has been suspended, so the information should go so that our people who have their goods stacked there will be able to load their goods and bring it to sell.
Meanwhile, Mr. Krentel assures that no fees will be charged the trading community, both in Ghana and abroad, adding that all already paid for fees will be refunded by his outfit.
The press release we mentioned, and I will quote it, that there will be no fees or charges applicable to importers or shippers in Ghana or elsewhere associated with the implementation of the CTN now or in the future. So the question of fees is not something on the table now. We are not going to charge any fees for now or even in the future.
So the Ghana Revenue Authority has decided to meet with the various business groups to conduct further sensitization and consultation with regards to the cargo tracking notes on Monday. Hopefully, calm will be restored after the meeting. For City Business News, my name is Jessica Ayoko Aye.
Now, managers of ESLA PLC has announced that they've been able to raise about $265 million as an additional issuance as part of the energy bond to save the energy sector. This was carried out under the 10-year auction bid of the bond, which spans from 2017 to 2027. This brings a total issue under the bond to about 5.7 billion cedis. The following City Business News Desk report has more.
According to the managers of ESLA PLC, the rate tapping took place on Wednesday, August 29. This means that the borrowers have been permitted to issue the bond at the original face value, maturity and coupon rate, but they were allowed to sell their bonds at the current market price. The total amount accepted for the bid was 264.7 million cedis, which is more than the 200 million cedis target. Interest on the bond is between 19.5 and 20%. Considering the total amount accepted, the transaction is said to have been 1.32 times oversubscribed. ESLA PLC says the proceeds will be used to continue to settle the balance of the outstanding legacy debt and other obligations due suppliers and other creditors within the energy sector. Following the latest retapping, total issuance under the 10 billion cedi bond program is now at 5.66 billion cedis. The government issued the bond in 2017 to offset debt within the energy sector, which had affected most sectors of the economy, particularly the finance sectors.
Now, one of the major oil-producing fields, ENI, has undertaken processes to fortify the sea of its operations in the oil and gas sector. It follows the arrival of Italian ship Luigi Della Pe. The presence of the ship here in Ghana will not only see increased trade relations between Ghana and Italy, but also secure borders across the country. My colleague Anita Arthur was at the port earlier today to witness its arrival and now reports.
Speaking at the ceremony to welcome the vessel, Italian ambassador to Ghana, Giovanni Favilli, said the presence of the vessel and the team will safeguard key investments between Ghana and Italy, such as the ENI, whose activities in Ghana are concentrated in the exploration and production as well as the refining of oil.
One of the main Italian ships in these waters would be a very good chance to reaffirm the presence of a navy in these waters, in an area that is very important, especially for the trade communications between this area and Italy and Europe in general. The second reason I'd like to add is that the Italian company ENI, it's an Italian oil major that made in these waters the main private investment in West Africa with the FPSO of Takoradi. It's one of the main drilling operations providing oil and gas to Ghana. It's one of the major investments in West Africa, and again showing that the Italian Navy supporting this investment and this presence was one of the reasons of them here.
The Luigi Della Pe, which arrived in Ghana yesterday, has on board 123 Navy candidates, mainly from Italy and other parts of the world. The candidates are scheduled to meet with members of the Ghanaian Customs and Navy to train them on ways to fight piracy. Addressing the press conference, commander of the ship, Arnaldo Pawalo Simi, said Ghana was chosen as a stop destination for the ship because of its strategic position, which makes trading with other countries easy, and also to announce a strong security presence in the area.
Our chief of staff sent a ship here in order to maintain this presence and surveillance in these areas, because we think that the security of the sea line of communication is very important for the prosperity of all the world, actually. And so the presence of a military ship in this area can increase this security. And obviously because we think that this area is of strategical importance, obviously, and so Italy has a lot of interest also in this area, so that's why we are present here.
The presence of the Luigi Duran de la Pen not only means secure borders for Ghana, but also increased trade investments between Ghana and Italy. Reporting from the Tema Ports, I am Anita Arthur for City News.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard here on City TV. My name is Abna Owusu-Nyamiche. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll tell you about some reforms initiated by the State Enterprises Commission to improve efficiency of state-owned companies. Do stay with us.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complex. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on the Business Dashboard on City TV. Let's bring you some more stories now. And the State Enterprises Commission has initiated reforms to improve the efficiency of state-owned companies. According to Chief Executive of the Commission, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, the reforms have become necessary due to government's plans to ensure that state-owned companies improve their performance.
Few interesting things that are happening. One is a complete reform of the whole SOE sector. It involves changing the law itself and improving on it to make it much more stronger. And so the government ownership of the state enterprise becomes stronger, especially with the joint venture companies, which we are having a very good hang of what they're up to. But also the other area we've seen that needs a lot more work to be done is on corporate governance and accountability, similar to what the Auditor General has been doing or saying today. And as you realize, sometimes government needs to be able to get people to understand that public service is purely public service. We are responsible to the citizenry, and so we must be accountable to them. And so those are being put in place. Not only that, but we also believe that there are areas where people's competencies need to be matched to the jobs. So in terms of appointment, the president has the prerogative to appoint. But we need a database where the pool is available and so it becomes much more easier to match the competencies.
Let's now talk about technology, because Ghana is to benefit from a digital hub to be financed by the World Bank to improve the digital infrastructure. According to Deputy Communications Minister Vincent Sowa Odote, the development will also allow people in rural Ghana to access to digitized economy. Although the cost of the hub is yet to be announced, government believes the project will help secure the country's cyber system. Ms. Odote Sowa also tells City Business News the youth will be the major beneficiaries of the project. Here's more in this report.
The project, which will be spearheaded by the Communications Ministry, is also aimed at helping the youth to keep up with the trends in ICT. It will include the iHub and the MLab facilities, which will, among other things, help in the testing of applications before they are released to the public. Speaking to City News after the launch of the National Coding Program by Vodafone Ghana, Deputy Communications Minister Vincent Sowa Odote said the youth will be the major beneficiaries of the facility.
iHub and MLab is already started. I'm sure from here, when you speak to the managing director of this beautiful facility, you can take you there. Innovation Hub and a mobile lab. The mobile lab is to test apps. So, and the iHub is innovation.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. We're taking another break. We'll return with more stories, including international business news. Do stay with us.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
Come, international media, he said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who's played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on City TV. For regular news checks as they unfold, 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes. You're welcome back. This is the Business Dashboard on City TV with me, Abna Owusu-Nyamitere, bringing you some more stories. And there's a looming epidemic of the bacterial black spot disease in Ghana, as the infection is said to be spreading across the country. The bacteria, which was first detected in the Brong-Ahafo region in 2012, has now been seen in the southern part of the country. Nanoye Anchor has more in the following report.
The disease attacks mango and other trees. BBS is usually characterized by black spots on the leaves of the affected tree. The fruit also gets cracked, rotten, and drops from the tree even before they mature for harvesting. Black scabby spots are formed on the fruit, often with star-shaped cracks within them. President of the Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters, Anthony Sekpa, says farmers are battling with the epidemic as there is no national plan to curb the problem.
Bacterial disease called bacteria blight spots. If when it affects the mango, you see it first on the leaves, but finally it shows on the fruit. You see that there's a black spot on the fruit which opens up and oozes out with juice. So in no time, the fruit drops before it's ready. That is what we're dealing with, and it can be very devastating. It is expensive to handle because you have to do a regimen of fertilizer, of fungicide application, and it's not cheap. So if you do that and you cannot find a market for your product, then we have a problem. Because in all the country now, in fact, it started in the Bronga Hafo, but currently it's appearing in the south here, and we haven't heard of the north yet. We pray it doesn't go there. But again, it's also because of farm hygiene. It doesn't limit itself to just the grafted mango. It affects also the local mango. So if you have one in your backyard and you don't know, you think, it's one of those things, so you don't treat it. But then all it has to do is for the wind to blow and the rain to fall, the wind to blow, and then it transmits it somewhere else. This is what we need to work on and avoid.
According to some farmers, they lack the expertise to handle the disease, causing them to lose much of their production. They are therefore appealing to government to help them solve the problem. The Federation, however, says the situation can be controlled if farmers themselves adhere to good farm hygiene.
That is why we are doing this. As we talk about it, we get new ideas for handling it. We adopt them. We don't wait for government to come and say, hey, this is the support that we are giving you before we act. The farmers themselves will go look for their own money and take care, because otherwise they can't sell their produce. We are not waiting for something to be done. We are already doing something, but we think we can scale it up and cover the country and get more from the product. That's what we are hoping for. That's what we are advocating for.
Although Ghana is a major exporter of mango to the European market, its share in that market is very low. United Kingdom is the main destination for Ghanaian exports of mango, with 64% export. Credit or financing of activities in the sector is also a major challenge affecting farmers. Hopefully, government initiatives, including the One District, One Factory and the Planting for Food and Jobs, will be used to explore the potential in the mango sector. For City News, I am Nana Oyankra.
Let's now turn our attention to some international news. We're beginning in Nigeria. Petroleum tanker drivers have grounded operations at the Calabar port, bringing ports and businesses to a halt at the Calabar export processing zone. It follows indiscriminate parking while waiting to load petroleum products from over 10 numerous tank farms around and within the EPZ, according to reports. The situation has become so frustrating that port users, visitors and residents around the area spend between 30 minutes to 2 hours to get to the port or the EPZ, a journey of less than 10 minutes before now. Despite the huge potentials of the port to serve not just the state and the neighboring states, but also northeastern states, business activities have remained very low because of the low channel leading to the port. Now, Argentina's government has unexpectedly asked for early release of a $50 billion loan from the IMF amid a growing economic crisis. President Mauricio Macri said the move was designed to restore confidence in the Argentine economy. The Argentine peso has lost more than 40% of its value against the US dollar this year, and inflation is rampant. The IMF confirmed on Wednesday it was looking to strengthen the arrangement and changing its facing. Investors are concerned Argentina may not be able to repay its heavy government borrowing and could default. The Argentine peso is still losing value despite all attempts to meet investor concerns. Other emerging markets such as Turkey and Brazil are also suffering from the devaluation of their currencies this year, but Argentina's situation is particularly troublesome. The country has not been able to lower inflation, which is the highest among the G20 nations. Well, that's how we end the business dashboard on City TV tonight. My name is Abna Owusu-Nyamekye. For more news, you can visit citybusinessnews.com. My name is Abna Owusu-Nyameche. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.